Hello everybody. Welcome to my new channel. Alright, we got a cop right now. Driving right by a cop when I just put on my temporary plate. Hopefully we don't have any problems. It is kind of sketchy. I had to like tape some parts of it because my last plate flew off. Want to make sure that I'm not getting into any problems. So anyways, welcome to the channel. Now this right here is going to be my first video. Some of you are probably going to be wondering, why is it called Moto Money? I'm starting this channel not really to be so much about motorcycles, although I'm sure as I keep going, you know, and get more and more excited and interested about motorcycles, the content will probably be a bit more about bikes, be a bit more bike centric. But the reason that's what the name is because this channel is mostly going to be about something I deal with every single day at work, which is money, personal finance. Not really that fun, hence why we need a motorcycle to keep it fun. But I've got a lot of tips and tricks on how to help people manage their money and get better financially. And I think starting a YouTube channel where I can maybe give people some insight on that stuff outside of work might be really cool. So as the title suggests, this video is going to be about whether or not the Harley Davidson Sportster 883 is a good beginner bike, as told from an actual beginner. I found that when I was looking at bikes and looking to get my first one, a lot of the videos giving people advice on what the first bike is and, like, you know, how it feels, a lot of them are from people who have been riding a long time. And I think the thing I wanted to know as a beginner was how it feels to someone who's never ridden before. And is it like too much to handle? Does it feel very powerful? Does it feel like super huge? Does it feel puny and like it's not going to be enough? So here I am to answer those questions as best as I can. I'm only really going to be riding around back roads, and as you can see around here where I live, it's pretty rare for you to come into contact with any other cars on the road. Well, maybe not contact, but it's you don't really see too many. So let's just start out right away by answering the question, is this a good beginner bike? In my opinion, I think yes. I haven't had the bike for too long, so I'm gonna follow up on this later down the line once I've sat and lived with it for a while and I have a little bit more expertise. But from beginner to beginner, does this feel like I made the right choice? Yes, absolutely. Let's start to dig into why. First things first, you know, as somebody who's new to riding, one of the things that you really want to make sure is that you are not starting out with something that is way too powerful for you. And motorcycle riding as is already pretty dangerous, right? Like, you're exposed, you're out in the elements, and you don't really have a portable room like a car. I mean, when you think about a car, you're literally driving a room. And there's a little bit more margin for error. You're not really getting like taken out by smaller elements, like a pothole might be way more devastating for me than it's going to be for a car. That being said, you obviously don't want to start off with something that's already way too hard to manage. So one thing that's good about this bike is that it feels like it is not too much power for a beginner to handle. Now the engine displacement is about 900 cc's, or obviously 883, as the name implies. Which, if this was something like a sport bike or like a naked bike or something, would be very intimidating. And the beginner end of those types of bikes is usually around like 250 or 300, 350, something like that. So when I was first shopping around and I would hear something like 900 cc's on a beginner bike, I was like, what the hell, that sounds not right. But no, when you have a cruiser, you have this heavy bike, and the power distribution does not feel like it's picking up and going at crazy speeds. It feels very like mellow. That being said, it does feel like it does have power. I mean, when I give it gas, it goes. It doesn't feel like anything that's way too much to manage. And the best example I can really show or tell is literally the first day I got this bike, I ran into a predicament where I had to drive it home from the truck rental spot. And I'll even show you guys a clip of me figuring out how to ride this thing for the very first time. I would not recommend for anybody to learn how to ride this way, but it's just what had to happen in order for me to get that truck back on time, not have to pay tons and tons in fees. Luckily, I live right down the street and also had my girlfriend following me. And I'm also just a pretty fast learner in general, usually. As you can see, you know, I was able to figure it out enough to just get it down the street to my driveway. But that also brings me to my second point. For a beginner, does it feel like it's on the exact opposite end of that spectrum, where I feel like I'm going to get used to it in a matter of like a month, and then I'm going to want to upgrade, and, you know, it's just going to be a bad investment overall? Like, no. I feel like I'm going to have time to live with this bike and grow with it and learn, and I just feel like it's going to be able to handle most of the things that I'm going to throw at it, if not everything, in this first year. In fact, I do eventually plan on taking a highway trip. So right now I live in Western Massachusetts, and I intend to take it to Burlington, Vermont. And I think it'll be able to do it just fine. I've taken it on roads and taken it to like 60, 55 miles per hour, and it handles fine. It doesn't feel like there's anything crazy about it. Also, let's just take a moment to enjoy these beautiful roads. I mean, I've been looking forward to this for so long, to just cruise around on my bike. Let's go ahead and take this thing down some quicker roads just to kind of give you guys a feel. Let's talk about handling, right? That's probably like one of the most important things. As a new rider, you want to be able to handle your bike really, really well. I'm gonna just say right now that by far this is not the easiest bike to handle for a beginner. I mean, I'm just talking about myself at the very least. Like, if I had to guess, I would guess there are tons and tons of bikes that handle much easier for beginners. I don't think this is anywhere close to the easiest bike to handle for a beginner. That being said, is it too hard? No. Not at all. I think the main factor really is just like being a beginner and wanting to go really fast on a motorcycle. That's probably going to be the thing that is just too much and is going to get you into some compromising situations. Is this thing like really, really tough to do turns on? Like, no. But if you're going too fast, are you going to be able to like lean and get really crazy and wide? Also, no. A lot of the things that would be compromising in terms of like the handling are pretty easily avoided if you just like don't go crazy fast. I don't think the handling is anything you have to worry about unless, and you know, keep it real with yourself, like if you think you're going to be flying at crazy speeds, then, you know, maybe it is something you should worry about. I don't feel like the handling is something that I'm stressed out about when I'm on this bike. If you're looking for something like I was looking for, which is a cruiser, to, you know, cruise and just have a good time and appreciate being outside and having a nice little ride, then this is totally, I mean, I feel like I made the right choice. And some of the other bikes I was looking at were the Honda Rebel 500 and the Kawasaki Vulcan 900. Those were kind of the other bikes I was thinking about, and ultimately what I decided is that the Honda Rebel 500 is just too small. When I would sit on that thing at the dealership, it just was clear that after about like a half hour of riding, I was going to be not very comfortable on it. That being said, on the Kawasaki Vulcan 900, that was the exact opposite. When I put my legs around that thing as a beginner, I felt like I was mounting a woolly mammoth or something crazy. Like, that thing was too intense. and I totally shied down, and I'm glad I did, because I would much rather have a bike that I'm not scared to actually ride. I mean, can you imagine like spending thousands of dollars on a bike and then trying it once, being like too scared or having a really shitty experience? As you can see here, we're on a street that the speed is a bit, you know, you can go a lot faster over here. And as you can see, the bike is handling. I believe it's a 50 mile per hour speed limit. So yeah, we're at 50 right now. We're cruising. Yeah, it feels awesome. When you get on a bike for the first couple times, you'll realize like it puts a little strain on your body. But for me, even, this feels like I could just cruise, and I don't have a windshield or anything, but like it doesn't feel too intense. Dang, it is an awesome, awesome day outside. Loving it. Guys, wow. Oh, man. Woo! I definitely spoke too soon. Oh, could I do that all day? Definitely not. Definitely not. But could I do it for an extended period of time? Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Alright, this video is going to be a little better than I thought now, because you're getting real time what my opinion is on how this thing handles at slightly higher speeds from a beginner. So again, nothing to compare it to in the motorcycle world. All I've driven that was two-wheeled before was scooters, and this is not a scooter, needless to say. Maybe it's because I'm a beginner and I get a little nervous, so I'm gripping the heck out of the handlebars, and that might not be the right way to do it. For a while there I was like, okay, maybe I just gotta pull over onto the side. If I feel like I can't keep up, that's what I'm doing. I am 100% doing that. No shame, dude, no shame in doing what you feel comfortable with, man. Ride your ride. Yeah, the vibrations on your hands when you're going higher speed, you definitely feel that. I'm sure that stuff gets a lot easier, just getting experience and whatnot, but like, man, again, you know, newbie. Alright, now that I'm not holding the grip so dang hard, it's much better, much smoother. Kind of letting my body do more of it than my hands. But yeah, now it feels like we're cruising comfortably. Now, maybe I could do it for a much longer period of time. Alright, even going uphill, I'm able to hit 60, so yeah, highway should be no problem on this bike. By the way, guys, if this video is not as informative as it could be, I mean, again, this is my first video, so, you know, I kind of expect to miss a few of the points that I really want to hit, because no matter how many times I've kind of rehearsed it in my mind what I want to say, like, once push comes to shove and the camera's rolling, I'm probably going to forget a lot of it. If there's anything else you want to know, just let me know in the comments, and I will get to those as soon as possible.